Are homeschool influencers transmitting the wrong message or the viewers receiving that message wrong? Let's talk about that. So I've been noticing a pattern here on YouTube where I see homeschool moms sharing information, and just I feel like the way that they are transmitting the message that they want to share with you, the viewers, is not the best way to be transmitting that message. And I feel like lately that pattern has been going for quite a while. And while I have just shared here and there on my videos in regards to that, I feel like now it's more evident and it's happening more often, and that is the reason why I decided to create this video. So I have my bullet points in here, and I will start with my first one, and it's the motivation. So I feel like there's two types of motivations when it comes to homeschoolers, homeschool moms, to create YouTube channels. The first one is just to share information, share experience, maybe create a community where they can just, share and receiving information, and as well just to share their journey with the rest of the homeschool moms here on YouTube, the ones that are watching, the viewers. And they want to do this because first they have some type of experience, maybe because they are looking for a community, looking to just almost create this type of a friendship with the viewers where you don't feel like you're alone in your journey. And the second type of homeschool mom here sharing on YouTube is because they want to earn an income. They want to maybe partner with a company where they receive materials free, so they benefit of the fact that they're receiving those materials, so it's helping them in their homeschool in exchange for a review, or they are earning commissions by just reviewing these materials that are being sent to them free. And I feel like there's this type of homeschool mom that is sharing, especially the one that is sharing because they are looking for a type of earning, correct, from what they are sharing, from the information that they're sharing. And I don't have a problem if you want to earn money, obviously, because I have done it in here. I just have my links. While there are not many, I do have a few here and there. I don't put a link in there unless I have tried that program in particular. By try, I mean like actually use the program with my kid in our homeschool for more than just 1 week, obviously for months, correct? That I have been able to just work with the program and see how it is supposed to be used and all those things, how I have adapted all those things. And there's this homeschool mom that they're sharing information because they are obviously receiving some type of commission or pay for their review in exchange for their review. And that is, again, nothing bad. What I feel that it becomes bad is when you haven't used the program and you're just giving that review out of the opinions of other moms, out of a survey that you have given to other moms that have used the program, but not because you personally have worked with that curriculum and that program yourself. And I feel as well like there's moms here on YouTube that are sharing information, and it's almost like it is the highway, my way, or there's no other way. And if you're doing it any other way, then you're wrong. And that's a dangerous place to be. I think that the idea, at least for me, to come here on YouTube was first because I see it as a hobby. I like to share. And I'm not going to deny earning money here and there. Not bad, but it's not my main goal in here, correct? Because if not, I wouldn't be sharing videos in here. I've been almost 6 years here on YouTube. I haven't earned not even one penny, guys, besides the commissions from some of the links that I have here on my description box. And if you notice, are from materials that I have used with my kid for years, that I have tried with my kid, that I have been using for years, and that have worked well with our homeschool. I feel that sometimes when a mom comes here on YouTube and they share their opinions in regards to a program, I think that it's better if you hold yourself from giving that review if you haven't experienced that program yourself. I have seen in here on YouTube homeschool moms that are reviewing programs, not because they have gone through the program themselves with their kids, but because they are creating these surveys either on Facebook, Instagram, or here on YouTube, and they are just making and basing those opinions on those surveys that they have done with other moms, sharing their opinions in regards to the program. And you're sharing that information here on YouTube for the viewer, which is you, me, all of us, looking to get that information. And sometimes we put so much emphasis on that opinion that that person is sharing. And it's just that, it's still an opinion, especially if that person is not going through that program with their kids. And that's when it becomes dangerous, because you're probably switching programs, making that decision off of the opinion of a person that hasn't even tried that program in their home with their kids. You have to have some type of self-awareness, I think, as a viewer, when you're looking and watching to these homeschool moms that come here on YouTube to share their opinions. So looking at the motivation of that homeschool mom when they're sharing opinions in regards to curriculum is very important, and that is one of my bullets here on my on my notes, and something that I wanted to just talk to you guys about is that self-awareness as a viewer, and that self-awareness too as the person who is sharing that information. When I come here to you guys, I share information in regards to curriculum. I am sharing that information because I have used that curriculum or that program with my kid. And based on that is how I am able to share that information with you guys. You have to take in consideration as a viewer, how have I used that program? How I have adapted that program? Am I using that program as it is recommended by the author? Am I adjusting things? How many kids do I have? What is the dynamic in my home? Who is giving that information? What is the reason and the motivation for that sharing of reviewing of that information, of that curriculum, of that material, and the experience with that material? For how long have I been using that program or curriculum? And where does that opinion is coming from? As a viewer, you have to ask yourself these questions. It is important because I feel like sometimes I see moms sharing information and I see these comments, even in here in my YouTube. I have seen moms that sometimes they question the reason why I am reviewing a program the way that I am reviewing it, the way, my opinion in regards to that program. You have to remember that I am sharing that opinion as a person that have been using that program here in my home with my kid. And that obviously that doesn't mean that it's going to work in that same way in your home, because that will depend the season, the dynamic in your home, how many kids do you have. Again, what I just expressed to you guys, that you should ask yourself when you're watching a video here on YouTube. My second point, and I think I have just talked a little bit already, is the delivery of that information. As a homeschool mom that shares information here on YouTube, I try to be careful because I know that I am sharing this information as a way to just encourage you, as a way to let you know how that program works in my homeschool, but as well, I tend to just give you guys a very detailed look through the pages or flip through the pages, because I want you as well to make your own opinion and to go through that process of you feeling that you have control on the programs that you're going to be selecting for your kid, that you make that decision on your own, correct? Giving you that choice of, I'm letting you see the program, I'm showing it to you. I give you my opinion in regards to the program, how we've been working with the program. I review the program for you guys. But at the same time, you have to take in consideration that I have one kid, that I tend to adjust the programs. And I tend to sometimes create my own schedule with the program. And I sometimes don't follow it straight as how the author suggests the program to be used. So I am constantly maybe adjusting or adapting the program. But I still give you that choice to see for yourself once I do those detailed flip through the pages, so you can see if that program is going to work for you or no. You have to be careful when a mom who comes here on YouTube has never used that program and they are giving you that information based on the opinions of other moms, and they are giving you this information based on maybe the information that is on their website for that particular program. And it's not the same as you experiencing the program, going through the program yourself, taking the process of using that program with your kid, see how you are able to adjust the program or no. It is not the same. So you have to be careful as the viewer how you're receiving that information, and I have to be careful as how I am transmitting that information to you, how I am delivering that information to you guys. Another thing is that you look at the perspective that that person have in regards that program, in regards how they see homeschool, because there are some moms that tend to see homeschool as a way of continuing almost like the public school at home. And there are some of us, like me, that we are trying to separate ourselves from the public school. We already have the experience of having our kids in public school. It was not a good fit for our kids, and based on that is that I am sharing information in here. I am not bashing the public school. I am not saying anything about that, because I know that there's a place for everybody. Maybe your kid doesn't do well in public school, but it does well on doing homeschool at your home. And there's kids that don't do well at home and they do good in public school. And just, you have to be careful with that as well. So how is the perspective of that person that is bringing that information to you, and the perspective of you as a viewer is how you're going to receive that message and how that person is going to deliver the message to you. Does that make sense? And again, to be self-aware of the information that you are receiving. Take it with a grain of salt. Investigate. Question yourself the motivation. How is that person familiar with that program? How is that person experiencing their homeschool, correct, with their kids? In what season is that person? If they have shared that, obviously. And the dynamic of that person, if they have shared enough for you to be able to see that, to notice that. Another thing is how we put so much emphasis on curriculum. I know that having a rigorous curriculum, it is important. I know that as well, having a gentle curriculum is important. And both of them, each on their own and together, are important for you to take in consideration. I know that people put so much emphasis on the curriculum when they are going to give a review to you guys, when we are making those reviews to you guys. But reality is, part of that curriculum working in your homeschool has to do too with consistency, has to do with how you adjust that program, has to do with how you connect the dots to how your kid learns, how you learn as a teacher, how you are able to handle that information and transmitting that information to your kid. It's not just the curriculum the problem. Sometimes it's us as the teachers, as the parents who are sharing that information with our kids, and how that program is going to work as well. If you're consistency with the program, no matter how gentle is the program, if you're consistent using that program in your homeschool, your kid will benefit from it. He will. She will. They will benefit from that program if you are consistent, no matter how gentle that program is. And if you consider it gentle, just, add something to the mix and try to make it a little bit more rigorous for you. But we tend to emphasize so much on curriculum. We tend to say, well, this program is not that good because it's too gentle. Or you should use this program because it's rigorous. And rigorous is how you should be doing things in your homeschool. And it is not like that. Some kids benefit from that gentle approach, and some kids benefit from that rigorous approach for homeschool. And sometimes it depends on the season. Some seasons your kids are more prone to receive information in a more rigorous way, and sometimes they just are in need of that gentle approach, of that, gentle process to learn that they need to learn that concept or whatever it is that they need to be learning. And I feel like sometimes we criticize so much certain curriculums, certain companies. We criticize the moms who are using those programs. We trying to, just discourage that mom of using that program because it's too gentle or because it's not rigorous enough. And sometimes that program is the one that her kid needs. It's that gentle approach at that moment. But because we are putting this out there constantly, if you are not self-aware of that, you just derail yourself from what you need to be doing, which is concentrating in your homeschool and your kid and how they work with that certain program. You have to go yourself through that program, have the experience. That doesn't mean that you're going to be constantly hopping, but if you have to, so be it. Go ahead. Because sometimes you have to go yourself through those programs. You cannot base, the program that you're going to be used based on somebody else's opinion, because you are obviously are not going to be going in the same process as that person is going in their home, correct? Another thing is experience. I noticed too this pattern where it comes here and you see immediately these titles. I have 11 kids, or I have 9 kids, or I have 7 kids, and you name it. And they it's almost like they base their experience on how many kids they have. I can tell you that I have 1 kid. I've been homeschooling him, I think it's been 8 years already. I feel like I still, with all those years under my belt of homeschooling, I still sometimes make mistakes because I am a human being. I am not perfect. And I am not trying to play in here as I am perfect. I am still finding our groove with certain programs, and my son is about to be high school. And it's because some seasons I feel like he's willing to go towards that rigorous route, and sometimes he needs more of a gentle way of us handling homeschool. And sometimes it depends my job. It depends how I am working and how my job is being going, the materials that we're going to be using in here in our homeschool. Taking all of that in consideration, it doesn't matter how much experience you have, because it will depend in the end on how you work that program with your kid, how consistent you are, and how you are working and adapting and adjusting that program with your kid, and how you approach homeschool. If you approach homeschool as a very rigorous, more on the traditional side, or if you're approaching homeschool on a gentle side, rigorous as well. Just because it's gentle doesn't mean it's not rigorous. Again, we're talking about if you're consistent, you keep consistent with the materials that you're using, gentle or no, your kid will get something out of it. They will. So you have to take that in consideration. I know that sometimes moms come here and they talk so much about how rigorous should be a program, how you should avoid gentle programs, you should avoid, having this type of mind where you're relaxed in your homeschool, where you take things in a more relaxing way in your homeschool, and you should be more rigorous. You should just make sure that you're using a rigorous curriculum. You should be sure that you are making sure that your kids are getting tests yearly, so you know that where your kid is at, because you don't want to have your kid behind, that there's no such a thing as behind, or that there's such a thing as behind. It's just these different opinions here and there. And again, that is just based on how they run their home and how they run their homeschool in their home with their families, correct, with their kids. I feel like sometimes we tend to lose that respect towards that other mom that is having a more relaxed way of approaching things. That does not mean that she's not taking in consideration what her kid is asking or what her kid needs. It's just she's taking a more relaxed approach and probably a different process to go through things than you are. And that doesn't mean that is less valuable than you taking that rigorous traditional approach. I feel like we are divided lately in this type of place where either is rigorous or gentle, or traditional and non-traditional. And these certain groups here on YouTube, Charlotte Mason, not Charlotte Mason, eclectical, not eclectical, is just these divisions and groups. And the idea, I think, of us coming in here on YouTube, it was that we are going to share, all of us, our experiences in a way that it was not meant to make you feel like a failure just because you're not doing that in that same way that this mom is doing it, correct? It was not because your way is right and mine is wrong, and yours is wrong and mine is right. It's not supposed to be like that. We're in here to share our experiences, yes, to maybe review the programs, review the curriculums, go through certain materials without having to be judgmental on the process of other moms here on YouTube. And it was it's supposed to be a place where we are meant to help each other, sharing opinions, and not create so many divisions when it comes to sharing those opinions with you guys. And I don't know, I just feel like lately the way that information is being transmitted to you guys, the viewers, and sometimes how the viewers are receiving that information, whether it is a good information or no, is being a point for division here on YouTube. That's how I feel it. That's how I've been feeling lately when it comes to that. And that is the reason I actually have my notes in here. I created this video today. I feel like lately is this type of videos where you feel this more than encouraged and motivated. You feel discouraged because either the mom is trying to portray herself as she has it all together, put together, or you have this mom where she's pretty much telling you, look, you have to be relaxed, not worry about, you're just worrying too much, you're just being too traditional, you're just being too rigorous. Or you have this one that is telling you you're too gentle, you're not taking the time, you're not taking a rigorous approach, so you're wrong as well, correct? And you have to look again at the motivation, because some of them, they might not review curriculum, but they have a course where you have to go, and pay for that course. So they are earning a commission, or they're earning a salary from what you're buying from them. And I don't have a problem with that if, again, you have been going through that program yourself and you are giving that review because you have experienced that with your kids, and because you are making sure that we are not here, diminishing anybody's approach to homeschool and their work that they are doing in their homes with their kids. Hopefully this was expressed. I just tried to express this the best way I can. I have been expressing this in several of my videos, little by little, here and there, and I just feel that we should just work together. The idea is that we're trying to see what is best for our kids, what is best for us as teachers who are sharing that information and going through that program with our kids, and that we're here to encourage each other, to motivate each other, to just continue going, correct? And no matter how you approach homeschooling, to know that you're trying to do the best that you can with what you have for your kids. That this is all about you and your kids and nobody else. No matter what curriculum you use, no matter which company you use, no matter the approach you take in your homeschool with your kids, no matter what anybody else says, not even me in here, is how you're going to be handling that information and how you're going to be working with your kids at home doing homeschool. Just let me know how you think we are transmitting the message here on YouTube, how we are transmitting and sharing that information with you viewers. What do you think in regards to what I just shared with you guys now? And if you would like me to do another video like this later on, I have not been here on YouTube lately, but I will be creating more content, so hopefully you will see a little bit more. I will have to share with you guys what we're going to be using here in our homeschool. There has been some changes. I would like to share that with you guys eventually, so very soon you will see that video. I hope this video is helpful. If it is, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you then. Bye bye.